Yes. With that, we are back once again with another Monday night, another live stream. That's right. We are live and alive in El Paso, Texas, El Chuco town. At least I am. El Chuco. We are the online open mic, Monday night online open mic, aka the stay at home open mic. My name is Richie David Marrufo, and I will be your MC and host tonight. This is presented by the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. We are based out of El Paso, Texas, and this is our show. Now, because of and thanks to technology like Zoom and YouTube, we're able to connect with people from all over the country, from all over the world. So if you're tuning in live, it is great to see you. Welcome, welcome. If you're watching the replay, which is our future, but your present, we do welcome you to the show. One thing that we encourage you to do as listener, as viewer, as audience is just show some love to the performers. As always, I'm going to encourage them to share their social media handles, websites, links where you can support their work, whether it be purchasing textbooks, merchandise, or tickets to see special events or plays that are coming up, but we do have lots of peeps here. Also, let us know down in the comments or in the live chat that you're here, you're listening. Introduce yourself, say hi, let us know you're listening, and then of course let us know which lines you love, which ones stick out with you. We just love to see the support. That's truly it. That's what this is. It's a platform for everyone. All right, so yes, happy Monday. Last week we did have a little bit of a hiccup, a technological hiccup. We couldn't go live, and I tried my best to share that through YouTube. So if you guys were able to catch that, I did eventually upload a saved video. We did record that night. It just wasn't live. So I was eventually able to upload that session on YouTube. And if you missed it, it is there now on our YouTube channel and you can check it out. But without further ado, we are live. Happy to be here. And we're going to go ahead and kick things off this week in Pittsburgh. And it's Play Week. Lots of work going on, Tech Week. And there's some really great things to support from this first performer. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage Vale Larkin. Hey Vale. Good to have you back.
Good to be back, and thank you for not reading my bio verbatim. Richie knows what I'm talking about. I'm going to put links up in chat. I have a play. It premieres on Friday in New York City, and tickets are on sale. If you're in New York, you can get a ticket to see it live. If you're not in New York, you can get a ticket to see it live streamed. And all the information is there. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 poems today. I was going to do 3, but I'm going to do 2. And there will be a brief interlude between them where I explain the second one. Okay. The voices of the world. The clicks of the crickets out my door are louder than the music I am playing, but they syncopate the beat, lovingly laddering sound like water surrounding me, and I sing for the wishes of the voices of old, and I patter my hands and I tap fingertips on my desk. This is magic. This music, and the whoosh of a car up the hill, and the horn sounding blends with the music, the crickets, my body in motion, my voice wavering, and the whine of electricity overhanging like high-flying wires through the cacophony, through the chaos, through every sound everywhere, trembling together. The words emerging from the morass, hidden signals from my silent mind. I can hear voices in the noises of the world, and I listen, wondering where they would lead me if I were to follow them. Quick interlude for a haiku for National Haiku Day. Akbar's cat. Cat tummy, so soft and exposed. It's a trap. This last piece I just wrote yesterday. I'm disabled, and the bed you see me in is where I live. I used to be able to go out, but since the pandemic, I have not been able to for a variety of reasons. So my online community is my community, and I love you guys dearly. So I wrote you this poem. if I don't enough for the poets. Have I said it? I love you. I love you all. When you sing your songs to me, and isn't this all music here and everywhere? And you show your hearts, your scars, your missing pieces and aching overflow. I love you and your honesty and your bravery and how you open and reach to share, and how all of these are together words requiring the subject, the object, the great world of things to hold close to one another, to ourselves. Do I say it so seldom? I love you. I can see you all boxed and apart, and yet you whisper, and I watch the tendrils thread the spaces between us like they are laughing nonsense, making us part of the whole, the great body, life, earth, and the taste of language like the richest ripe melange, like the flavor of everything together, perfectly balanced, united, complete in our singular variety. Have I ever told you that I love you? Have I showed my love in the brightness of my smile? Each time my brow creases in thrall to your pathos and my lips sip up, I gasp at your passion, and your illuminated reality, your redolent truth, overcomes me. Have I showed you I love you? Every indrawn breath, every rustle of page or notebook paper, each moment you stare into my eyes, our eyes, all together looking in, and when your voice sings out, you bring us every note in chorus, resonating soul to soul. Have I said it? I love all of you. The sweetest song to me is our song.
That was so sweet, amazing. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, if you guys want to, you can clap, chat, put some emoji. So we do have tickets available. You shared all your links. Anything else you want to promote or share? That was awesome. Thank you, Val. Anything else? But before we want to move on.
I have features at some point in the distant future in like a month or something, but it doesn't matter because there's a play this week and all of my attention is focused on that. Please buy tickets so that my pain is not for nothing.
All right. There you go. You heard it. You heard it here. No, definitely check them out. We can support and attend online through a live stream, which I think is really great. All right. Thank
Real
you,
quick,
Val. We're gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
real quick, just to be clear, actually all the proceeds are going to two organizations, one in Pittsburgh and one in New York City, who work with the homeless populations. So to be clear, I want you to buy tickets to give money to homeless people, not to me.
I think that's a great clarification. I think all of us who already knew that, but for the new people, I think that is worth clarifying. And for everyone watching on stream, Words of the Prophets, theatrical poem about homeless life, April 21st, 23rd, Nancy Manchurian's The Cell Theater. Again, I've gone ahead and shared links on the YouTube channel as well, as you guys can check that out. All right, we're gonna go ahead and keep things around in Pittsburgh, and we're gonna switch up the genre. We have a little bit of prose. We have some short fiction. Let's go ahead and welcome back to the show, back to the stage, Andrew Pryor. What is up, Andrew? Happy Monday. Good to see you. Good to have you back.
There we go. Happy Monday to you, Richie. Thank you. Very short story, about 3 minutes, but so I'll get right into it. I'll tell you, one thing clouds are good at more than anything else is looking like comfortable places to rest. Probably why people think there's so many angels. I'm kneeling forward on my lawn chair, a thin layer of nylon between me and the 30,000 feet of air below me, pawing through the cloud, trying not to jostle the weather balloons around too much. And I find this guy in his brown leather jacket and blue jeans laid back with a look on his face like, fancy seeing you here. Hair parted to the side. Slice across his throat as clean as a no-cavity smile. No blood. All the moisture up here never lets anything dry. In the end, I just left him there. He was too big to fit in the trash bag. I found the dog tags around his neck with his name, address, and the government stamp on it, which reminded me of that first call with Samuelson where he told me not to touch anything with a government stamp on it. No packages, electronics, nothing. So I took a beer bottle out of my bag, wiped off the fingerprints, and stuck it in the clouds up past the label. Then I straightened the man's collar. I was glad no one saw me do that. I don't remember his face, but I remember how wet his shirt collar was between my thumb and forefinger. All I tried to tell myself long after that was that the body in the clouds was just more trash. It was like I was trying to fit a full-size rake into a kitchen junk drawer. But after I touched down next to our trailer, first thing I did was look up the address and find a phone number. I put my best Samuelson voice on and told the lady on the other end that I wanted to ask about her husband. Gave his name. She just said, "Oh, he was a cloud collector." And I expected her to go on, but that was the end of it. Like poof, was and then wasn't. After she said it, I realized I already knew. I said, "Thank you for your time," and hung up. It rained that night. My son snuck outside and went to go play in the rain like any kid would. I ran outside, grabbed him, hauled him back inside, threw him in the shower, stripped and scrubbed him the whole time he was crying his eyes out, and I just toweled him off, threw a shirt on him, and locked him in his room. Stayed up for a while after that, stayed at my desk and wrote everything but my own name, wrote my brains out, listening the whole time to the wailing of my son and the thunder clapping overhead. And every time it pounded, it felt like the junk drawer slamming shut on my own hand. When I was finished, I rolled the paper up tight, stuck it inside one of the empty beer bottles on my desk, and took a full one out of the fridge. Nowadays, the government's given us enough money that we don't live in a trailer anymore. We live in a nice house on the hillside where my son can look at the rainstorms from the living room couch. And whenever I'd feel like he's looking too long, I can close the blinds and tell him to go play in his room, and then plug my ears and go to sleep.
Awesome. Some claps for you. Thank you so much, Andrew. Yeah, man, I know you're working on your publishing stuff. So as soon as you got some great news, we're happy to hear it. So great having you. Any announcements yourself though until then?
Not right now. I'm just
right.
living. Thank you.
I appreciate that. That's cool. Thank you. Also, yeah, I appreciate the genres. On these nights, we mostly get poetry and spoken word. I'm always happy to hear more prose and more music for sure on these Monday nights. You hear that, musicians? We want to hear more of you. Back in the day, we had lots more that were attending. But right now, we're gonna go ahead and continue onward with our online show. And again, thanks to the power of Zoom and the internet, we're gonna travel from Pittsburgh to Denver, Colorado, and say hi to Mike Sindler. Michael Sindler, our own lighthouse. How you doing, sir? Always good seeing you on Monday. As soon as you're here, I know it's Monday night and we're ready to go.
Yes, because I'm always the first one here. I am, of course, first thing gonna put up thing for lighthousewriters.org, and I want to make sure people are aware of the fact that LitFest starts in June. The classes are already up for registration, and there are some absolutely amazingly world-class people who are coming, and some of them are actually doing stuff that is going to be available through Zoom and live casting. So I cannot recommend highly enough. Take a few minutes, go to that site, look at the catalog for LitFest, and see if there's something you might want to do. If you really don't have the money, you can apply for writerships, which is what they call scholarships. So, Lighthouse really wants to help people. So it is a possibility if that's an issue. Moving on, Vale mentioned the fact that it is Haiku Day, and I want to make a clarification to something Terry Rose Jurtson said just a little while ago on Nuyo. She was talking about something happened the other day, and I have to clarify that several of us were waiting for a certain fireman who was on the can to come back, and we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited. And finally, I came up with a new poetic form, which was a 5-7-5 poem with very specific idea of what it talks about, and it is called the haiku. And Terry did hers, but she did not give me proper credit for having invented the damn thing. So I am hereby saying I am the inventor of the haiku. Brian's got his thing. Everybody else has theirs. It ain't much, but this is mine. So the first haiku ever written. After a big poo, be sure to wipe thoroughly and wash your damn hands. So I will do a few more traditional haiku or senrus or whatevers. This one actually I think does count as a true haiku. Sound of a train whistle. Nothing is more comforting between night and morn. And then this one. Where will fate lead us? Question for another day, curious lover. And this one is, big ideas are great, but it's little ones pulling a lot of the weight. And I'm just going to do a couple pieces that are new that I've just written that are not haiku. This one is called Anger. Will you let your anger eat you? Acid bath of fury, dissolving self in wrath. Will you bottle it as Molotov, toss to splash, breaking flash, crash of glass? Will you let hurt loose and add shake of base, achieve elemental equilibrium? Do not let poison be your prescription. And then this is sort of the newest thing I guess I've written here, called Every Time. Every time before the chorus can finish, the same scratch leaves me skipping, stuttering on the same word, the phrase I need to say every time, half forgotten, half hanging, waiting on a thumb to knock arm back, pop needle over and over back in the groove every time, just before the word love. Crackling vinyl drowns out melody in static, dust ball hanging off diamond. Every time, it still comes round to you. And even though this is a small group, I still won't use up everybody's time, and I will go to, I thought, seeing how it is haiku day, I would go directly to the master, which means Paso, and do a few of his. And this is perhaps the most famous haiku in the world. The old pond, a frog leaps in, sound of the water. Spring ocean, swaying gently all day long. Skinny frog, don't get beaten. Isa is here. The canola flowers, the moon is in the eastern sky. The sun is in the western sky. When I ate a persimmon, the bell rung, the Hariju temple. And last, the green leaves for eyes, the little cuckoo in the mountain, the first bonito of the season. Okay, thank you very much. Happy Haiku Day.
Awesome. I didn't even know that. I missed that fact. Mike Sindler, everyone, as always. Props for rocking the Lighthouse writers, as always. And I like how you end with the cover and the hat, because the natural act of taking off is almost like you're tipping your cap there at the end. It's a natural, like, closure. I really appreciate it. Yeah. the haiku stuff is really interesting. I'm gonna have to look up for some to maybe add at the end there. Plus, it's always really fun to read the haiku debates online. You know, what is haiku? You know, what's true? What's the translation and all that.
Well, it doesn't
I
get
remember,
more true than
yeah,
that. He is the one.
Paso. Well, of course, Paso. Yeah. Um, but let's go ahead and the haiku. Can't forget that one. Oh my gosh, that's congratulations. All right, let's go ahead and keep this going. Next up, we are gonna return to El Paso, Texas, and check in with the one and the only Robin Schofield. Robin, how are you doing tonight? Happy Monday.
Hey, Richie. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy Monday. See my hair sticking straight up. That's fun. Yeah, I'm going to read a few poems today from my Ridge of High Pressure, which is coming out at the end of May from Mouthfeel Press. But first, I'm going to read a poem by my friend Jennifer Clement. And it's called Making Love in Spanish. When I make love to you in English, the objects in the room have no sex, and I only hear our voices. But when I make love to you in Spanish, the chairs, those little girls, chatter, and our shoes want to step with adoration on the body of light, lamplight that falls across the floor. In Spanish, the tangled sleeves of our sweaters sigh with soft, womanly voices and fall like long vines around an armchair that has become their master. The roses bathe and bow, filled with desire for the clock, and the fragile windows want to break into the mirror. Here, your pockets worship my stockings. Here, the white walls worship the white moon. In the dark, I give you my feminine mouth. In the dark, el amor, mi amor, I give you my masculine eyes. So, and that's to lead into my poem about border Spanish. And it's called The Usual Golondrinas. In the shadows underneath mud-daubed Artcraft Bridge, the usual golondrinas dive and soar, circle and pop in and out of their nests in gray morning suits, swallows' white bellies flashing in the sun. The cottonwood fuzzes the long grasses by the river with their purple heads as the golondrinas go after the gnats and mosquitoes who also dwell by the river in a cloud of Brownian motion. If only I could translate their murmurations in English or in Spanish, the flocks of swallows or golondrinas in the Mondale pines and fruit trees these people of the big houses have planted on their flooding acres. Whatever the weather, dry river or flowing, the swallows remain as the ducks and cranes do not. The usual golondrina's song mixes in with the ocean roar of traffic, which has increased on Artcraft Road since the new bridge at Santa Teresa. The usual golondrinas dazzle with their alphabet of acrobatics, their language of sinew. The usual swallows remind me that mi amigo Miguel Angel wouldn't believe me that the English word for the bird was solfeo and only 2 syllables. They deserve 4 for the song, he railed, and wouldn't destroy their nest on the white walls of his porch in his big house on Country Club Road. In spite of their mess by the pool, still so angry about the English word for la golondrina. And then speaking of the Rio Grande, this is called Small Pools in a Dry Rio Grande. The great blue heron stays by the empty river while the divine explodes in every star. A few minnows angle in pools left over from drought as the divinity suffers. A father and son also fish for the rare minnows to use as bait at the big lake north of here, Elephant Butte. I try to figure out how divinity suffers while the dog bites the heads off dead fish and romps through the small pools. 4.5 billion years after a supernova rocked a cloud of dust and gas, the heron nests in Afghan pines on the east bank. An underground channel keeps the river alive, while the barest spark hints at the divinity. Some activists filed suit on behalf of the river. The heron reflects by the small pools and considers dancing, as I wonder why no one sued in her name. I follow heron footprints in dry sand, so much sand in my shoes, it bruises my toes. The dog splashes in small pools and the heron flies off to her nest. In slow wing beats, I hear the divine rhythm. Observed and unobserved, supernovae burst around us. The pine trembles as she settles on a large branch, scaly yellow feet around it, midnight wings folding. And this one is called, these are from the end of the book, actually. I have some more poems that I could read that are from the beginning, but these are all from the end. This one's called Signs of the Times. The white buffalo has been born in the west, and the two-headed calf. How can you be sure these are the signs? An unkindness of white ravens rises in the northwestern forest. Did you note the eclipse of the harvest moon? Have you thought long about the sunset? Well, have you? A pink dolphin frolics in a Louisiana lake. What does it all mean? Have you studied the names and added their numbers? Analyzed the qualities of heat and moisture, cold and dryness? What does it mean to be here in this world of physical properties, where lead doesn't transmute to gold but poisons the water? Rattlesnakes coil in limestone cliffs, strung with opal gemstones, creatures of fire. The soft blue damselflies born of water hover so near I could write with one, their ink of the sky. Where's the modern elixir, our hunting of the green lion and the yellow lodestone? While children are caged beside a fictional border, where the mercury thermometer rages upward and the coyote breathes in smoke-filled air. And this one is called At a Trumpet's Blast. We shall become known, whereas until that time we shall have been unknown to ourselves, such as dark matter is known by absence of light and presence of gravity, starlight leaking. If this absence of photons is your answer, whatever the question was, it's the one you've been given. Let go your cupped hands so that the solitary leaf cutter bee can pollinate the star-crossed bougainvillea and solar flare Tacoma. She is all the universe will ever need. Dark matter nesting in the knotty pine fence, her monotonous song ever circling. When the trumpet sounds, will we be left behind? Will she be the one transformed? Say it to the scrub desert. Your answer is the pollen, golden sacrament on black legs. This galaxy now circling a black hole, and whatever dark matter holds it all together. Thank you, everybody. And local peeps, please look out for my readings. I already know I'm going to have one at the Writers Theater series. Aaliyah and I are going to read. And what else is going on? We have Tumble Words coming up every Saturday, 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So do drop in. It's on Zoom nowadays. Okay, that's what I have.
All right. Thank you so much, Robin. Yeah, absolutely. Trying to promote and get Tumble Words. I'm trying to promote it to my students, actually. So be on the lookout. We're going to have to probably do some teaching, though. Beginners, you know, you guys are all pros or you've been doing these for a while. But some students are like, I need extra credit. I'm like, would you be willing to write and share what you write in front of strangers? But more on that. We'll put a bookmark on that for now. Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and keep going. We are going to stick around in Texas and go a little close by to Horizon City and welcome someone here for the very first time. We have a singer-songwriter. She's going to be sharing some original songs, cover songs. So she just got back into the area. So seeking live venues and opportunities to play more music. So this is a great start. And I can definitely offer some recommendations for you as well. Let's go ahead and welcome to the show, Laura Lynette. Great to have you. Welcome.
Thank you, Richie. Wow, it's nice to be here and listen to some great spoken word. Meet a bunch of new people. This is amazing. So, yeah, I'm a songwriter. I'm going to do a couple of original songs for you. I thought I'd do a couple of new songs, but then I think I'll start with one of my older songs. It's a waltz. It's about a breakup. It's my mom's favorite song. It's called Set Me Free Waltz. Well, I'm getting older every day. You could maybe even say a little wiser, a little stronger for the wear. Yeah, the breaks are really tough sometimes. They could really wring your mind and your soul out and your heart and everything else. But I think that I can handle it. Maybe even learn a bit about me and a bit about you. Oh, you gave it all. And now that I've made the fall, you're singing a different song. It's a set me free waltz. Now it really does not bother me. I can very clearly see how the time points to moving on along. We can change and grow and still be friends. I believe it every now and then. But then sometimes I'm just too unknown. Oh, you gave it all. And now that I've made the fall, you've changed the song around to a set me free waltz. Oh, well, you say you want to be happy. Don't you know that I do too? That means if I have got to let go, then so do you. Well, now I'm feeling better every day. Even though you've flown away, it's just sometimes I'm so blue. But I've got a lot of love in here. I could even learn to share it with someone new. Oh, you gave it all. So now I won't try to stop. I'll play that song you wanted to set me free waltz. you say you want to be happy, don't you know that I do too? That means if I have got to let go, then so do you. But now I'm feeling better every day, even though my hair turns gray, because sometimes I'm just so blue. But I've got a lot of love in here, and I could even learn to share it with someone new. Oh, you gave it all, so now I won't try to stop. I'll play that song you wanted to set me free. Walls, it's to set me free. It's to set me free. Walls. Set me free, Waltz. Thank
Ooh,
you.
more.
Thank you. I've had a little bit of hay fever since I've been back, so my voice is kind of creaky. But I tried this newer song. I wrote this a few months ago. It's about believing in yourself, manifesting things that you want to see in your life, and it's called You Gotta Have Faith. I'm gonna find it. Make a wish on a bright shooting star, believe it will come true. It's the nature of the beast, though you may think it is bizarre. The universe works for you. Oh, you gotta have faith, you gotta hang tight, you gotta take aim, keep it in your sight. You gotta have, you gotta believe it with all of your mind. When you toss that coin into wishing well, picture your perfect outcome. You gotta see it and believe it, all down must be dispelled. That's the basic rule of thumb. You gotta have faith, you gotta hang, you gotta take aim, keep it in your sight. You gotta have faith, you gotta hold tight, you gotta believe it with all of your mind. Keep it in your sight, in your mind, with all of your might. It's not easy to drown out the noise, anybody can tell him. Stay focused, make your choice. There's not one thing that can stop you. Nothing will stop you. Nothing can stop you. There's no stopping you. No. Sight. You gotta have faith, you gotta hold tight, you gotta believe it with all of your might. Keep it in your sight, in your mind, with all of your might. That's it. Thank y'all.
Wow. Well, if you do not keep coming back and become a regular and share with us, I'm going to be very unhappy. So you don't want me to be
I'll be back now that I found you all.
Yes.
And I have an open mic every first and
Yeah.
third Tuesday, but I would love you to come.
Yeah, come to Brian's open mic too.
Yes, please
Thank
share
you.
And
any
Finn's
links.
open mic.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are a gem, Miss
Thank
Laura.
Absolutely.
you. Wow. Oh, thank
Is it
you.
Lara or Laura?
It's Lara Lynette, and I have a
Lara.
few things on SoundCloud. I don't have a very very big internet footprint, but I'm working on it, and we're going to release this new album here at the end of the month, and try to get some live gigs around town and the region, and hopefully.
I'm going to
Good,
say
yes.
Emmylou Harris, but that's actually not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of someone else who's British, who's English. But Emmylou Harris is definitely right up there with your voice. Like I'm hearing a lot of, yeah.
Oh, thank you all. I appreciate everything that y'all are giving me right now. I'm like, I'm just buzzing over here. If you'll post stuff in here in the chat so I can save the chat, and then I'll get in touch with y'all. And thank you very much. Thank you,
That's
Richie,
perfect.
for letting me
That's
in.
perfect. Thank you so much. As you can tell, a lot of people excited to have you here and to also include you on their shows. So yeah, definitely stick around, and any links that you have as well, please. The SoundCloud, we would love that. That's for sure.
I'll post that. Thank you.
Cool.
Yes.
Lara,
Cool.
Lara Lynette.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Appreciate it, everybody.
Very cool. And as I mentioned before, we definitely welcome more poetry to the show. Yes, so this is our Monday night live stream, our Monday night open mic. I want to give a shout out to people watching right now. We got Sandy Lands in the house, and shout out to Haida as well for tuning in. By the way, if you are watching and you are an El Paso Community College student looking for the Tejano Passport Program, I'll give you directions in just a moment on how you can get that info. You can get that credit. But as always, we're going to go ahead and continue on with our list. In fact, we're going to go back to the East Coast, or I've heard a lot of astronomical words and poetry today. So we're actually going to join our next performer who's joining us from the third ring of Saturn. That's what he's telling us. But as always, he's got some words for us. Let's welcome to the stage. He's our main man from Maine. Let's welcome Generalissimo Brian Franco. What is going on, my friend? Let's see. And he does run Cafe Generalissimo every other Monday. Yeah, go ahead and take it away.
I just am so taken aback by what I just heard with Lara, that it's it's just beautiful stuff. I mean, we're so lucky to have so many great poets and wonderful musicians too. I think this is such a special space. So thank you both, Richie and Kim, and of course, Robin, for giving us Kid. I'll say that early instead of at the end. So I'm going to start with this poem that's an ekphrastic poem. It's called The Answer to Who Elvis Was Reincarnated From. Before Velvet Elvises, there was you, Madam X. When I saw you in person, you were larger than life. I so badly wanted to touch the satin on your gown. The garment was all the scandal in Paris, exposed décolletage and shoulders, milky white skin that shone like mother of pearl. Your mother begged John Singer Sargent to not display your portrait at the Paris Salon. I can imagine Ralph Lauren creating an exact replica of the scandalous dress considered tasteful by today's standards, and either Meryl Streep or Helen Mirren wearing the gown to the Met Gala, ascending the red carpet in a masterpiece not having to be taped to her breast and comfortable enough to walk in. When I stood in front of you, you were just oil on canvas, but I wanted to reach out and touch your dress as if it was actually satin. I so badly wanted to touch it as if it were my great Aunt Mildred's velvet sofa, covered in protective plastic, but your portrait was behind velvet ropes on a museum wall, as untouchable as Aunt Mildred's sofa. I have 3 more poems. This is a friend's untitled right now. I wrote it in a writer's group last night. It's called, it doesn't have a title. Once upon a time, my brain sprung a leak. I happened upon a poetry reading. I didn't want to listen, but life did. As I walked home, words stuck in quicksand inside my soul fell from my ears as poems onto the Manhattan sidewalk. They rhymed and told stories and sang songs. I tried to scoop them up with my memory and stuff them in my pockets. Some were left on the ground to get stuck to the soles of strangers' shoes. Those that survived found their way into my computer, then to paper. I couldn't believe my eyes when I read what I thought. I couldn't believe my ears when I heard my voice speak those thoughts. Then, one day, I stepped on the stage that caused my brain to release all the poetry that was waiting to be released into the ether. I learned giving a voice to written words was a way to let my soul sing. And Saturday at Nick Paleologos's workshop, he had a poem that used the titles of every song and an album. So this is called The Most Hopelessly Romantic Night of My Life. Once upon a time, I was in Vienna, slowly sipping espresso at a cafe, when a woman I had never met before asked to share my table. There was nary a seat left, so I rose to pull out the chair opposite me. As she sat, I saw both sadness and a slowly fading sparkle in her eyes. The stranger, who was Roman, described a sad scene from an Italian restaurant in which her fiancé, after ordering champagne, excused himself to use the facilities and never returned, leaving her with the bill. She rushed to his apartment to find it emptied of all possessions, with only the good die young spray painted on the bedroom wall. He was her first true love. She told me she believed his moving out wasn't her fault after her mother told her, "Honey, I kissed a few frogs before I found your father. We can't always get it right the first time." I explained I was also nursing a broken heart. I took my girlfriend to Paris for our 2-year anniversary. The moon and stars reflected in the Seine as if the scene were painted by Monet. I dropped to one knee and presented her with my grandmother's engagement ring. She looked at me longingly. Yes, it was hanging in the Parisian night air. She reached down toward me with one hand and covered the hand with the ring in it, like we were playing rock, paper, scissors, and her paper suddenly smothered my rock. She smiled at me and said, "Baby, despite that I love you just the way you are, everybody has a dream, but life with you is not my dream." My new friend and I walked along the Danube under a smiling moon. We came across a violinist playing on the Riverwalk. Other couples were dancing. She extended her hand, and we danced in the moonlight as the stars' reflections shimmered in the river like sterling silver snowflakes. I could feel my heartache healing as I saw her smile, and the sadness in her eyes dissipate into sparkle. Bare magic. That evening must guys was to fill the cracks in teacup broken hearts with kintsugi gold. When I think about my night with the woman from Rome, I have no doubt she's always a woman that could have made me happy for the rest of my life. And I think I have one more poem that I just wrote today as a reaction to something somebody did for the Nashville. Sandy Horton, who plays native flute, did a musical piece for the Nashville shooting, and it made me think of the recent Alabama shooting. And I have to find where I put it. Is this it? Sing Candles. Dear Sweet 16, your birthday was not supposed to be a surprise party. Did everyone there sing happy birthday? Did you get to blow out the candles on the cake? There's a rumor your brother put those candles on your cake that don't blow out. What kind of cake did your grandmother bake? It doesn't matter. It wasn't supposed to be a surprise party. There wasn't supposed to be an indoor fireworks show of gunfire. It wasn't supposed to be the subject of a sheriff's press conference. I wonder if the candles were lit and the cake survived. I wonder if the joke candles became a candlelight vigil before anyone knew. I wonder how long it took for someone to wet their fingertips to extinguish the candles. Thank you.
All right. Hey, thank you. And before we leave you, anything that you want to promote or shout out right now? You talked about your open mic.
Yeah, I'll put that in the chat right now. Thank you.
All righty then. Cool. Thank you. Generalissimo, go check that out if you guys have a chance. every other Monday during the day. And that'll be let me get those links for you guys. Once again, welcome to the online mic. Shout out to everyone. Eduardo, I think. Haida, Sandy. Good to have you guys here. We will continue our show. And in fact, we're gonna go from Maine a little south to Miami, where we have Elisa in the house. And it's always great when Elisa gets to make it back. You are amazing. I don't know why I'm talking to you like that, like you're not here. Elisa, welcome back. Go ahead and take it away. Good to have you.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back here tonight. It's been a bunch of weeks. Okay, so just a tiny drop of background. Want to keep an eye on the clock. I've only ever really written poetry, some music. Earlier this year, I decided I wanted to try to write a book, a novel. I was really good about it for a month or two, and then I abandoned the project. And just 2 days ago, I was talking to someone and I was like, yeah, hey, I remember that book I tried to write. And so I decided tonight to just pull it up and read a few pieces from it and maybe hopefully get myself a little re-inspired to get back into this project. So it kind of jumps around between perspectives, short chapters. So I'm just gonna read 4 or 5 of them depending on the time, and not in order. Not whatever. I'm jumping around. But this is the first one. Memoir draft number 1. My father's twin brother died in a freak accident when they were 2. Something to do with him running out the front door before anyone realized and a reversing garbage truck. I'll spare you the details. But as you can imagine, my dad's life was irrevocably altered from that moment on. I mean, no one could look at him again without seeing the ghost of his dead twin, without experiencing the shock of loss all over again, without imagining they saw accusatory fingers reflected in his gaze, at least. That's what my mom said. I don't know much about all that, though. What I do know is that for some reason, he thought it befitting to name me after the kid. So they called me Josefina after little Yosef, and they sent a tear-stained letter to my grandparents in Brooklyn, inviting them to come meet their new granddaughter, and 2 weeks later, it came back unopened. As did every New Year's or holiday card he tried to send over the next few years, never mind that sweet little baby picture right there on the front with my name and birth date written below it. So yeah, I was pretty much destined for depression or anxiety or some sort of mood disorder. I mean, seriously. Parents with dysfunctional families should just start therapy trust funds for their kids from the moment of conception. Not that I'm a fan of therapy. I actually hate it. But you get what I mean. I wasn't exactly given the best shot at having a healthy sense of self and all that blah, blah, blah jazz. Don't get me started on my mom's family, though I got to give them credit. At least they showed up and let me come around for Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that. But really, me going to visit them in Alabama was like dropping a nervous ferret in a pig pen and then telling us, don't worry about it. You're all part of the same animal kingdom after all. My mom's family are straight up Bible-thumping, tongue-speaking, dress-wearing, white as fuck Pentecostal hillbillies. And my dad was pretty damn Jewish. This chapter is called Ashan. It starts with a quoted poem by Rupi Kaur. I'm going to skip the quote, but hopefully someone's familiar with it. It was Ashan who first introduced me to Rupi Kaur. His favorite poem was that one about setting the city on fire. I never understood it, but I learned to love it, to recite it with him as we hiked Bear Mountain, hands like flames whooshing out across the sky. I'd whisper it to him as I pleasured him beneath the sheets. How appropriate, I realize now. He never did fill any empty parts of me. He kept me a secret. His parents would kill him if they found out he was dating a girl who wasn't Hindu. And as much as he loved me, he couldn't love me enough to break away or to break in. I was afraid for him. I knew what would happen to his dark brown eyes, which sparkled with life and dreams and some deep source of something that frankly took my breath away if I looked too long, if we weren't careful. I never wanted him to carry red stamped, folded up postcards in his pockets. We read Rupi Kaur together. We wrote together. We hiked together and slept beneath the stars, and his parents never met me. Ashan wasn't the first one to add the E after my name, but he was the first to do it intentionally and repeatedly. Going out for a bike ride with Joe, be back for supper. Joe and I left to study at the library, big exam tomorrow. Going hiking with the guys. Might stay at Joe's house tonight. I asked him if they ever asked to meet me, but he said they didn't know how things were done here, so they just assumed that's the way it was in America. I don't know if that's the full truth. Sometimes I imagine the web of lies he must have carefully strung across his apartment. The pictures of some strange friends, himself photoshopped into the center. Ashan could manipulate images like nobody's business. Did he get one of the guys from his computer science program to fill in for me? Did he get Jake Williams from the used bookstore to call the house as Joe's dad, wanting to know what time I'd be home? Jake would have agreed in a heartbeat. He was a cool dude. Ashan never told me. Just said it would be fine. We just had to be careful that we were already magical and didn't have to get lost trying to go anywhere else, which was another one of his favorite poems. That's probably what really attracted me to him in the first place. I'd seen him doodling something in his science book, and it intrigued me, a garden exploding out of an anatomical heart. And when I asked him about it, he recited Rupi Kaur. What is stronger than the human heart, which shatters over and over and still lives? And I thought, this is the boy I never knew existed. This next one is called Writer's Block. One of my writing professors once asked, "You want to know the single tried and true solution to writer's block?" He paused, scanned each of our faces, his head slowly rotating around the room, a class full of desperate and hopeful writers on the edges of their seats. "Sit your ass down in the chair and write," he yelled, slamming his hand down on the podium. I remember literally jumping. I remember the delight I felt next, the feeling that that was something I could do. I could sit my ass down in the chair and write. It didn't have to be good. It didn't even have to be on topic. It just had to happen, meaningless and irrelevant words, line after line, until finally the light would shine on what needed to come next. Usually the thing I was hiding from, the thing I didn't want to write about, usually the truth. I killed my baby. And I think I have time for one more. This one is called Distant Memories. I'm not sure if this happened or if I dreamed it. Memory can get like that, can be so faint and fluid, you're never really sure if it's there. Like the blue chiffon dress softly swaying in the breeze, the white lace socks and the black shiny shoes, the new headband to match the dress, a whisper floating through the air. "Look at you, my beautiful daughter. How could anyone turn this away?" A laugh, a cleared throat. "But Papa," in memories or dreams, it's always Papa. "Shh, darling. See how beautiful you are. Go. It's that one with the flower pot. Peonies. She always loved her peonies. Beautiful, too. Like you. Go now." A few steps, confused eyes over blue shoulders, motioning fingers, black shoes on gray cement, on brick steps, small fist, pudgy fingers, pale knuckles. A knock. Another look. A hem of a jacket behind a tree, fingers pointing, circling, again. 3 taps this time. Bend down to touch the shiny black shoes. Who's there? Bolt upright. No more birds. Were there birds before? A creak as a door opens. Who are you? The woman is stout, all in black. A straight skirt and a straight jacket with a silver zipper, black shoes, perfect, and short brown hair, deep brown eyes that look like something familiar. "Joe," I say, remembering. "My name is Josephina." A look of shock, a shadow, a darkening, narrowing eyes. "No." The sound like a thud, like backing up, like a door slamming shut, like a sliding bolt, like little bald fists and shiny shoes and blue ribbons that are not enough, like the opposite of peonies. Sagging shoulders behind tangled leaves. That's that for now. Thank you so much for listening.
All right, that's really great. Yeah, I'm happy. That's such an interesting way to hear it too, like cut up like that, in little vignettes. I think a lot of us enjoyed it, so definitely, hopefully, you enjoyed reading it out loud enough to get back on it. You know what I'm saying?
I
At least,
hope
how can
so.
people support and how can people support and follow you online before we move on?
Oh, I'll drop my full name in the chat. I have a few things on YouTube or Facebook. I'm happy to be friends with anyone there. Like Lara, I don't have that much of a digital footprint, but you know, I've got a few things out there. Thanks.
Cool. Alrighty then. Always a pleasure when you get to make it on the show. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get that spotlight back. What is up, everyone? Once again, welcome to our Monday night online open mic, aka our stay-at-home open mic. My name is Rich, your host. If you want, you can follow me at Dead Wall Reveries, where I post a lot of my personal stuff, but mostly you can follow us at Barbed Wire Open Mic Series on any social media. If you haven't already, just to be kept up to date with all the things we have going on. In addition to every single Monday night in our online show, which features people from all over, we also have in-person shows in El Paso, Texas. So if you're ever in the area, we have anywhere from 12 to 15 shows a month, quite a bit. Poetry readings, open mics, poetry and music nights, features, all sorts of stuff. So if you guys are ever in the area, shoot us a message at Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. We're going to go ahead and continue onward. Let me take a look at the list here. Okay. All right. Yes, she made it. So joining us from the San Francisco Bay Area, although she's lamenting, why not in El Paso? Why not? She once knew a cat named Dog. Let's go ahead and bring up Finn Bell. And if you don't already know her, at this point, come on, you'll never know her. Let's go and welcome Finn to the stage. What is up?
It's going pretty well tonight. Thank you so much. Alrighty. So a few poems, and I'm out of your hair. So the first one is titled Southward. It is a panku. If you're not familiar with a panku, it was created by New York-based and Pushcart nominated poet in our community, Deadpan Lizzie, aka Elizabeth Strauss. At its most basic form, it is a 9-word poem. I am doing the second level poem, which is a 9-line poem that each line consists of 9 words. So this is called Southward. And this is dedicated to my Marby, who passed away in 2017. Your sleeping face anchored my brain, mooring of sanity to this place without your curious joy pointing southward, your paintbrush tail indicating northward. My mouth erupted sound. The recollections gathered, laughter became caught in the netting of that wail. The dampness on my own face oiled my dawning knowledge of tenacity and joy mingling, mocking, saving me from how far below ground morning leads, mutely dictating you must follow to find healing. In my ceaseless grief, this image of you remains. And the challenge was to write a poem where laughter comes at what might otherwise be deemed as an inappropriate moment. So I just, when I held him, he died in my arms. He looked like he was just sleeping. That's what that was about. Next poem, when my iPad stopped sticking. Yes. This next poem is called Light Schmite, and it's supposed to be a free sonnet. Free sonnet is a creation of Indran Amirathanayan. It takes a little bit from the Shakespearean sonnet and from the Petrarchan, but you can expand from it. So Light Schmite. When does the bearer become source of light? I pondered this as the trees bore witness. The sun intrigue rose in golden quickness. Trees, sun and last, lost in thought, sat tight, dogged to find an answer that sounds right. Though after an hour, all grown restless, the sun, no care to stay till dusk. We resolved we weren't terribly bright, decided to concoct something clever, lest we be muddled all night. Here was our pitch. The one who calls all the shots. is the one who toggles the damn lever. Let's call it a night. Yeah, that sounds about right. No sense tying existential knots. And last poem. Oh no, two more poems, sorry. And then, yeah. Okay. This is called Sea Air. Sea Air. It will be your sleeping face that stirs my passion still. I will temper what craves in seaweed movement, sleek, hidden away. I anticipate our time of awakening. I would like to feign this slumber a minute longer. I would like to play pretend at first, my eyelids toppled half-moon crescents, your senses igniting, your body conscious. A torrent washes over us, laps at my toes, overwhelms my still burrowed face. I separate our swimming forms. Can a mere human hand divide the return of the tide from the ocean into which it nestles? You muttered unintelligible dreams last night, wrangled the sun to singe my skin, and the moon of me curved and moaned and hastened her 8 phases. We do not sink in the whirlpool forming between our love-welded bodies, prizing us apart to sample and savor our dark desires' depths. We summon the skies to our aid. He cries and rumbles in response. I cannot deny us the tight-lipped oyster, the obscure pregnant telltale in her curved shell, the secretive pearl at her core. I am fiendish as I hoard her, she the one who holds our fervent invocation, anting, toward the world far away, to remain ashore. I will be our sentinel. The sirens chant their tales tunneling the way to Fathom's cellar. I will hold you back from answering their call. I am the lighthouse and you are the shipwreck. My voice carries through the heavy curtain night, diverts you. You reach for me to hold and touch the twin flames upon the tips of my breast. Anticipate the honed, frantic entry into these harbors, your safety. It is here at long last you recognize home. I am the waters that flow around you, a remembering of each life before and coming. I am the sea witch and your ripened opalescent half-dream. I refuse you the oxygen to inhale deeply into your lung chambers. I will steal back the air. I want you to awaken, to breathe back into this life on your own. And I wanted to end with this. This is titled, I Can't Tell You What It Isn't. It is not the absence of feeling. It is not being the weight instead of action. It is not playing the cards and sidestepping silly love songs. It is not withdrawing. It is not long silences. It is not now. It is not at the drop of a hat. It is not sparse. It is not a disappearing act of will. It is not heavy on one end and is not light on the other. It is not what is easy. It is not existing for the light but never the dark. It is not hothouse fullness surrounded in shade and wilted bloom in the face of the luminous sun. It is not the high and the lows in vicious repetition, but never standing on even ground. It is not pleading, piteous, and ending up with nothing. It is not the excuse. The excuse is not the reason. It is not words unspoken, not promises broken. It is not perpetually something else to simply not be this. It is not an ideal, convenient concoction. It is not with. It seems to be without. It is not you, still never me. It is not a little too late. It is not enough. It is not, I love you.
Oh, and you came with a killer set. And honestly, I was thinking about it. You're one of I think you're one of the performers who's made me write oof the most in chat. You know, just that gut punch, like, oh, that was a killer line. Made me feel it in the pit of my stomach. How can people follow and support you online?
An oof from Richie Marrufo. is a good thing. It's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. Linktree forward slash and forward slash. I don't know. That's a new thing. Forward slash Finwell. And upcoming this week on Vocabulary, on Wednesday, we have a new program with Jen Newsy called Jen's Creative Space. She's going to be doing Poets Pictionary. If you wonder what that is, please check it out. It's on Wednesday. We draw, we do poems. It's wonderful. You know, bring all your art supplies. And then on Thursday, following that is another edition of Poetry Games. Leading that session is Chanson Bird with Haiku and You. Oh, I like that. I like that title, Haiku and You. Yeah, check it out. Linktree.
All right. Yes, please, if you can, share that here in our chat, and I'll forward that to our YouTube peeps. Mike Sindler said it earlier, but yeah, that's definitely worth revisiting a lot of those pieces, your whole set. And yeah, I think the dog heard oof instead of woof instead of oof, so that's why we were, or Marrufo. Oh, you guys are killing it in the chat with the puns today. I love it. I'm a fan. All right, let's go and keep going. We're gonna go to El Paso for our next two performers before we head over to Washington DC. But right now, yes, we have earlier I called him our enforcer, but he is one of the life soul, I think, of these mics, both online and in person. He went to all of our events last week, so he got his card stamped. For what I don't know, but he's also known as Mr. Monday Night. So making his way to the stage, I was going to say making his way to the ring. Let's go and welcome to the stage, Kit Wren.
Thanks so much, Richie. Yeah, we had a damn cool week last week with Monday, of course, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 readings, all special in their own way, all necessary, as it turns out. Did you know you need this shit? Like, people don't. What's it, the William Carlos Williams things? Poetry gives you what the news cannot, and the news is full of people who die every day because of what they haven't found in poetry. Something like that. I think I mangled that, but on to me. I don't know how the conversation transitioned from bad puns to general theories of art, but it was sudden and regrettable. He insisted to us repeatedly that it's only art if the artist thought it would change the world. He had no methods. He had no examples. He was so earnestly wrong-headed that I wanted to give him a hug and tell him everything's going to be okay, little buddy. But these gestures can be misinterpreted. My smaller, fairer, and meaner companion went on the attack, recited the theories of Deleuze like a prayer, intense and precise. She leaned in triumphant as his face became gaunt, confronted with what he did not know that he did not know. For my part, I contributed flecks of light at the margin, mentioned the death of the author, the intention fallacy, and a simplified tale of Kafka and Kafka's dull, slow-witted friend, Max, the least reliable literary executor in the world, a man who could not be trusted to start a fire with just paper. He was, in the end, unfazed, unconvinced, unshaken. He continued to believe in things unseen and soon moved on to the all-hour sandwich shop next door. And we, the unacknowledged legislators of the bar room, ordered 2 more doubles and took turns saying, I don't know, man. I don't know. He didn't. We didn't. And we were sick with envy of the insolent ones who thought they did. But the man whose innocence we had failed to even dent. All right. There are those people who find evidence of their own primacy in the universe in every twitch and spasm of Mother Nature's nose. They think their tears make the trees grow. They turn on the 5:30 news and listen to the weatherman tell them how they feel. I'm the opposite. I take comfort in the total indifference of nature. The scent of the pine has no idea what I feel, with apologies to Nina Simone. The stars, when they shine, are millions of years too late to be any good. I will whisper her name into the mesquite tree's hollow, and I know my secret will be kept. The mesquite will not repeat what it hears, not even by accident. Nature abhors a gossip. The sun beats down on us all, dutiful but impersonal, like a factory worker, indifferent as it shines to which leaves are wilted and which hearts are broken. I have not read this one in a long time, but I looked at it and was like, let's try it out. So, old shit. Leery-eyed, I am startled awake by my phone buzzing with a question. What are you doing in Houston? I'm ready to dismiss it as a hiccup in the cricket network when the friend follows up with a picture of a dissatisfied man who looks just like me sitting in the George Bush airport. I say just like me, but there are aesthetic choices that I find repulsive. His hair is slicked with so much product that the individual strands, we're both thinning, I did say just like me, take on the appearance of trellises. His business apparel is punctuated by a joyless gray tie that was tied by either a Boy Scout or a hangman. No coffee stains the Wall Street Journal cradled under his arm with irrational care. No coffee in his restless hands at all. I know what this is. I'm not a nameless camp counselor without the sense to run from a hockey mask. I've seen the Twilight Zone. I know that this is a doppelganger. He is coming to take my place and turn my friends into strangers. But I am shocked and offended at the litany of rookie mistakes, of all the stakes to start on the wrong side of. Not even my enemies across the uncounted dimensions could think this could work. There will be no climactic showdown where we both beg my survivalist friend to shoot the other. I pour my coffee and put on my cleanest dirty shirt, more determined than ever, more determined than usual, rather, to occupy my entire body. And where did it go? So we're going to go to the cover poem. And for today, I chose, to close my set, I chose by the great Lawrence Ferlinghetti. I'm currently doing a transcription job for a family friend who tells at even the slightest conversational opening about the time he met Lawrence Ferlinghetti. And I guess now I'm doing that too. So there is no room for me to like cast aspersions. But I'm choosing to read In Goya's Greatest Scenes We Seem to See by Lawrence Ferlinghetti. In Goya's greatest scenes, we seem to see the people of the world exactly at the moment when they first attained the title of suffering humanity. They writhe upon the page in a veritable rage of adversity, heaped up, groaning with babies and bayonets, under cement skies and an abstract landscape of blasted trees, bent statues, bats' wings, and beaks, slippery gibbets, cadavers, and carnivorous cocks, and all the final hollering monsters of the imagination of disaster. They are so bloody real. It is as if they really still existed. And they do. Only the landscape has changed. They are still ranged along the roads plagued by legionnaires, false windmills, and demented roosters. They are the same people, only further from home. On freeways, 50 lanes wide, on a concrete continent spread with bland billboards illustrating imbecile illusions of happiness. The scene shows fewer tumbrils, but more strung out citizens in painted cars, and they have strange license plates and engines that devour America.
Thank you, Kit. While you find your sheet. Oh, it's right there. Perfect. Going through your thing, man.
Getting better at planning. I ended up watching a few old ones on YouTube after I finished the timestamps, just because that's how the algorithm works. And I forgot where I was going with the story, but anyway, Instagram at Kit Ran Away, Twitter at Kit Talk Sports. You can follow me on Goodreads and get my opinions on literature because they're very just earth-shatteringly important to have. Kofi.com/KitRen is a fun little blog about the history of football. And you can find me on Facebook. That's simple enough. You can send me an email. That's something we all know how to do. You can drop something in the tip jar on PayPal if the spirit moves you. And I'm also the director of the Tumblewords Project. I'm going to keep saying that until it makes sense. This week, very exciting, we get Ray Ramos will be presenting something associated with his comic series, The Cryptidinals, The Secret War of the Cryptids. The Secret War of Monsters is here. It's a fun little arc phrase. And the week after that, your friend and mine, Richie Marrufo, will be hosting. And had the schedule set for May. We won't go into the whole thing. We're going to learn from the past. But May 6th is going to be Janet Bonnet, who's been a longtime Tumblewords regular and is ready to take her turn at the lectern. And I'm looking forward to that. I look forward to whatever the future has to hold because it's going to come regardless. I might as well be happy, right?
Yeah, the feature's great, but we really enjoyed hearing your old stuff tonight. They still hold up really well.
Appreciate you, Michael. All right, back to you, Richie. Let's keep this train moving.
Oh, all righty. Thank you so much. I see. Oh, hey, there's the list. Say hi, everyone. All right. That happens sometimes. If there's a spotlight is taken away, it shows all of us. Lacan, all right. Yes, I saw you. You signed up, so I have you added on the list. You'll be coming up shortly. After Ed, I believe, but right now we're going to go ahead and stick around in El Paso for our next performer. This is his first time reading at Barbed Wire online, which means you've read in person. You're going to have to refresh my memory if that is the case. But we have DC Route in the house and joining us for the first time. Yeah, welcome. Good to see you, David.
Glad to be here. Hopefully I'm coming through.
Yeah, you are.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and kind of continue maybe the football theme with a little something that I tried to put together: high art, football, and funny into one collection. So if I may begin, this is a piece called The Cheering Men, with apologies to the wasteland by T.S. Eliot. Practice does not make perfect. Only perfect practice makes perfect. I love the easy opening can. We are the cheering men. We are the laughing men, drinking together, helmets filled with beer, burp. Our rasping voices when we're howling together are loud and screaming as flatus in the restroom, or the cranking like a Lincoln with a bad transmission. Score without points, plays without patterns, wagering nothing, fingers without insults. They who had crossed half a country with their hearts focused to a dome or bowl, forgetting us, perhaps not that dumb, intoxicated spirits, as the cheering men, as the laughing men. Knees, I dare not feel the pain in field goal distance. Points will not appear. There the ball curves. White is the goalpost, tumbling the oblong turns and screams in the crowds moaning, more painful and more raging then an onside kick. Let the offense stay away from field goal distance. Let the mascots dance in their collegiate disguises. Albert Gator, Cosmo, Nittany Lion, off the field, behaving as an animal crazed, not speaking, not until the halftime in the sunlit stadium. This is the end zone. This is the spike zone. Here the striped men, arms raised, grant the 6 to the Lambau lunge of the wide receiver under the twinkle of 1,000 flashbulbs. It can be like this in field goal distance, kicking alone, with seconds counting down, grinding and groaning, teeth that are locked form prayers to the Holy Three. The sports writers are not here. There are not headsets here. In the hordes of ravaging fans, in the sway of the wave of blazerless mob with lost IFBs. In this last of sporting crowds, we scream together and avoid consonants, gathered off the sidelines of a useless game. Reasonless, unless the stats reappear, as 2 losing seasons, multi-playoff-less teams, infield goal distance, the hopeless joy of cheering men. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party? Are you ready for some football at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time? Between the push and the tackle, between the clip and the penalty, falls the flag. I love Brian Piccolo. Between the interception and the interference, between the motion and the backfield, falls the flag. And when you hit your knees tonight, between the audible and the shotgun, between the pick and the option, between the grounding and the face mask, falls the flag. Ask God to love him. Ask God to Hail Mary. Ask God to love. This is how the game ends. This is how the game ends. This is how the game ends. Not with a touchdown, but with a knee.
So awesome, man. I love that. I love that. And especially the reading. Kid added a little bit for us who aren't aware. But do you have anything, websites or place where we post your work? We can support you?
Not much, not yet. Hopefully I'll be back.
So we hope you do. We are here on Mondays, so we'd love to have you. Thank you, David. Appreciate you. All right. Cool. Appreciate that. T.S. Eliot football poem. I love the this is the way the world ends, not with a bang, with a but a whimper. But not a touchdown, but a knee. That's a great change on there. Alrighty then. What is up, everyone? We have our online open mic. We have 1, 2, 3, at least 4 more people signed up, and we're going to be bouncing around the globe right now before we finish up in El Paso again. So right now we're going to travel our invisible Zoom jet to Washington, D.C., where we have Mr. Ed Poetastic in the house. Oh, yes, you know him. Yeah, you know me. It's Mr. Eddie P. Where are you, Ed? Welcome back, man. Take it away. How's your voice today?
I'm great. Woo! I'm ready
Yes.
to rumble. Woo! Sorry about that. I sound like this. But, you know, sometimes you have to get well so you can see through the mist. Sometimes you have to struggle if you want to persist. But let's swing and a miss. My name is Ed Potato and feeling fantastic. Please give me time to enjoy my rhyme fall for sublime. I got 3 poems, so you don't gonna rhyme. My first poem is called I Have a Dream. I have a dream we can love each other. I have a dream we can respect each other. I have a dream we can understand each other. I have a dream we can support each other. I have a dream we can educate each other. I have a dream we can cherish each other. I have a dream we can guide each other. I have a dream we can inspire each other. I have a dream we can hold each other. I have a dream we can empower each other. I have a dream we can shelter each other. I have a dream we can feed each other. I have a dream we can protect each other. I have a dream we can strengthen each other. I have a dream we can heal each other. I have a dream we can nurture each other. I have a dream we can radiate with each other. I have a dream we can lift up each other. I have a dream we can celebrate each other. I have a dream we can prosper with each other. I have a dream we can free each other. I have a dream we can live in harmony with each other. I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. Thank you. I get my second one is called Pitch Black Unity. A mighty wise man once said he had a dream. Eternal legacy flowing like a rushing stream. It's more power to take a large brick than to hold a gun. It shows more strength to be an iron wall than a mock sun. African-American freedom fighters who are departed but not forgotten. The lottery spirits leave our beating hearts less rotten. Their fearless sacrifices hasn't been tarnished or in vain. God knows they suffer from barking ignorance, whipped stupidity, and biased reign. In their last dying breaths, they never cursed, bellowed, or raised with ill wills. Their heroic action, the heroic impact gave the hooded phantoms deep panic, fears, and chills. Our ancestors were bound in rusty, rattling, and clinging chains. Their ironclad determination helped us deal with the isolating pains. They suffered in agonizing darkness to bring us into the painless light. Some of you carelessly tossed it away in hunger for spite. The unforeseen burns of backstabbing by ignorant whites and even against ourselves. Yet people forget that book on the bookshelves. It's not easy being a big black ink blot on a white canvas, trying to get this rage and stress off our roaring chest. Fighting, shouting, and killing like blinded guns isn't the answer. It just spreads the venomous river of hate so much faster. Hate never loves, but only exterminates and destroys. Please be mindful that we're human beings and not mindless toys. Bitter vengeance is a dish left freezing cold. Is it really satisfactory to deliver punishment sevenfold? It's easy to build instead of burning bridges. Aaron knows it's better to heal than to dig ditches. It doesn't matter if you're red, black, or white. Let's bury the hatchet and fight the good fight. There's strength in numbers, so let's become an enormous, radiant sun. Let's make our voices, struggles, and powers into one. Black history isn't supposed to be celebrated in just 1 month. Let's give ancient white bigotry one massive dynamite punch. Okay, saving the last for last. This is called Oh the Year. This year's has been crazy. Minds fill up with knots. Days getting a little bit hazy. People avoiding the shots. Can it get even more amazing? Winter's getting hot on the spot. I'm getting a bit paranoid and lazy. Everything is getting too expensive. If we are losing their minds, it's steep price to work and live. Hopefully a silver lining we'll find. Please don't angrily panic. It's only a cloud around the sun. Please don't rage havoc, then get sick. Your life has only just begun. I know things look bad, but you're still alive in here. Don't be sad or mad, you understand. Keep sharing cheers for the fears. Aaron needs helping hands. Hopefully next year get better. We can only live in hope. A new year more sunnier than wetter. A little sunlight so we can cope. Don't worry, keep climbing up the ladder. Keep on climbing up that thin rope. Well, give yourself a huge applause. You survived 1, no 2, no 3 pandemics. You thrive while the law recalls. Come on, be more happy, enthusiastic. You didn't fall, but instead you took it all while balancing on your chaotic ball. Please be proud and stand tall. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome, Ed. Thank you. And as always, man, here's your cue. What do we got to do?
You know, we gotta go. You know what we have to do. We have to push on through, and plus we have to show admiration for people just like you. Please come to this wonderful open mic that makes our Mondays such a delight in the wonderful Potastic spotlight. But if you want to follow me, please feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman and my IG is EddieForm92. And remember, if the mic is right, I'll be there to Simon Potastic Insight. If you send me a question, you take guess, the answer is yes. Hope everyone stay healthy, safe, and blessed. Never stop spewing the wonderful words outside your chest, and now stop being and doing and feeling your best. Woohoo!
Yeah. There you go, Ed. Thank you so much. Appreciate your energy, your positivity. Next time I'm gonna make you say that 2 times fast. Okay. No, that's cool. I was always great having you, Ed. You helped invent a new art form, man. A
Woo!
take on the haiku. You know, we heard about it earlier from Mike. So congratulations on being a muse
I'm not sure
in
Ed
that
even
sense.
knows about it yet. Are you even aware
You
of
know,
this, Ed?
you have to watch the replay.
Yes, you are. Because of you, there is now a new form invented called the haiku.
Woo!
It's true. It's true.
True blue.
I'll timestamp it for you and send it to you tomorrow during the replay. Yo, what is up, everyone? We've got our online open mic. We have a few more performers left. As I mentioned, we're going to be doing some traveling. We're going to go ahead and go to the Philippines now and get a little global with our poetry network, if you know what I'm saying. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, as always, a treat, Lacan. Got Lacan in La Casa. What's up, man?
Hey, sup, Richie? Yeah, I'm showing my face now. And people have been telling me, you're not showing your face. But yeah, it's great to be here. Sorry, I pulled my hair back so far. Anyway, but it's always great to be here. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat. Magandang tanghali. Good noon to everyone. I'm Lacan and I'm from Pilipinas, or the Philippines in English. So I have 2 poems for today. My first poem is actually more of an ode. This is actually, I made this poem when I visited the province of Squigs. His mother passed away late last month, and I went and paid my respects. Could I have share screen? Sorry, Richie. And this is a Filipino poem, but there's one word that is actually in Bicolano, which is a language spoken south of the Luzon Island. Thank you. Okay, so where is that? I can't see it.
Yeah, you should be good.
I can't see it. It's okay. I'll just share it. Oh, doesn't want to permit me to see myself while I'm reading. Okay. The title of this piece is Dilag ng Langit. Bawat gabi, gaano man kasakim, ang luha ng dilim may buwan na di nagsasawa na mag-alay ng pagmamatiyag. Di ito napapagod, di ito na mamahinga, nagmamahal, na lagi. Ang pag-arugang wagas, tapang ang kanyang liwayway, nagwawagayway ng tahimik. Sa pagitan ng ingay ng lumbay, pangyakap, tiisin ang tahan ng tahanan natin sa kanya. Siya ang rahuyong mata, nagmamasid sa ating katatagan. Sinasamahan ang dilis na ikot ng anino ng kawalan. Kanino pa ba tayo tatalima kung di sa tatag, liwanag, aasahan ang kanyang aliwalas na ibig ng kanyang pag-ibig. Kahit dumating ang kinaumagahan, na akala natin wala na ang buwan, masinop ang pangsakripisyo niyang mga panggabay na titig, di mawawala, di mauubusan, di kakaligtaan, di magwawakas, tatakbuhan pa rin natin siya. Lalagpasan mga pasan na araw, susundo, makakauwi sa mahimbing na duyan ng kanyang pagsilbing ilaw. Maintindihan natin kahit anong magyari. Makikita at matatama sa muli natin ang kundiman ng ating magayong buwan. Thank you. Dilag is actually a Tagalog or Filipino word that means splendor. And it's actually part of a line that says dilag ng tula. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who's watching or listening, but it is the only national anthem in the world that has the word poem in the lyrics. And we have that in the Philippines. Second one, I do have a content warning on this. I wrote this because I had to, because being a rape survivor, I feel that I needed to write this. It's called Questions. When I share about my rape, I wish my rapists taught me how to water it down lower than ignorance. This bliss of softening trauma can feel so good, like how they try to shush me when I try to scream for help. Rape is in the forced silence, like a grope of fistful censorship. Isn't rape always felt? I wish I didn't feel how they numbed my brokenness. Have I become their figure of speech? Should I color it more with metaphor? Find a silver lining, like a Hollywood blockbuster, a saliva of sunshine shoved up my throat, watering down a drowning, pressing storms and bedquakes, with a pause of, shut up. I wish rape mentored the words I spill to not offend, disturb, playing words harder than how they tinkered the holes they made in me. They look like punctuation to puncture senses. Should I say sorry for the sense of honesty in the stories my poetry makes? I wish my rape told me how to apologize to the rainbows and unicorns that don't exist. Being a victim, getting by with lies is my irony I had to live by. Should I acclimate my poetry with a bit of sunshine, like a fine weather of line breaks? Should I break a pain like lulling stanzas? I wish rape was sensitive, like a hush, to fit a replay of pressed on lullabies. Should I rewind rape like it had a fairy tale waiting at the end? A justice of surviving, a death all survivors have to live with? Is rape just a half-dead, half-assed, a semi-penetration of bobbing heads, a somewhat fluent depiction of violation, an enjambment hanging a civility too civic, filtered like an approved dictionary to create a literature of musts and shoulds? Should I use English as my medium, distant, not as sonically piercing? I wish rape guided me on the distance between criticism and critique. Should I unbutton my literature like I'm a colony on a page and the stage? I wish rape didn't burn the children's books in my body, or the spotlight that knew who was shining. They were all raised, and judgment I can't reclaim. The collections of my ruin is all I have. Should I let others' consideration fill my liberty? in my library. Maybe the reviews should just write themselves. Maybe my rape is too ignorant, being bold, expressing the truth is too felt, too dark, too much. Should I even give consent to others to dictate how rape should be told? But doesn't that what rape really wants from us, for us? Weakened. Salamat.
All right, Lacan, thank you for sharing that. All of us sending love your way here in the chat. How can people follow and support you online? I see you have your Instagram there. Is that the best spot to start?
Yep. And also, please go to our socials, Poetry Global Network, and we have workshops and open mics and poetry readings. They can be different at times. And also, coming up this July, I am co-director of the Asian Pacific Poetry Slam, and we will begin the heats in Japan, the Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and Hong Kong. So, all right, let's do this. Thank you so much, BWOMS. Love you guys.
Thank you, Lacan. So great having you. And that sounds great. So we'll be on the lookout for that. If you guys have not already checked it out, Poetry Global Network online. Go follow social media. Go follow Lacan Poetry on Instagram. The Lacan Poetry. All right, can't forget the. Yeah, but awesome. That's power is always powerful as always. Thanks for sharing those that with us. All right, we're gonna go ahead and bring up our penultimate performer of the night. Joining us from Los Angeles, California. She's got some poetry, some script. Let's see where he goes today. Some song. Let's go ahead and welcome to Somok.
Hey, Richie. It's good to be here with you, everybody. I have a new serialized piece that I'm going to read a portion of it, and then we'll see how long I can sustain this. But this is titled Time Tacos. Introduction. Before the late Lalo Guerrero passed away on March 17, 2005, he enunciated many common grievances that Mexican Americans had in the U.S. He was a gifted storyteller, using his music to showcase the rich history and culture of his community, with popular songs Barrio Viejo, El Chicano, and Los Chucos Suaves, which, you actually live in Chucolandia over there, so which celebrated the unique sound and rhythm of Chicano music. Lalo Guerrero was a legendary Chicano band leader and musician known for his unique blend of traditional Mexican music and American influences. He was born on December 24th, 1916 in Tucson, Arizona, to Mexican immigrant parents. Throughout his life, Lalo saw firsthand the struggles and hardships faced by Mexican Americans in the United States. El rencor, resentment. The saying, you can't be a Mexican until you have a rencor, or a resentment, dates back many generations in Mexican culture. The origins of this statement go back to the days of the Aztecs, who believed in the importance of obtaining balance in life. Balance was achieved through a concept called tonali, which translates to energy in the Aztec culture. People believed that each person had a specific tonali that needed to be balanced throughout their lives. This balance is achieved through experience both positive and negative events, compared to the unitary pursuit of happiness, which leads to a runaway polarization and eventually to catastrophic depolarizations. Hence, we live in a bipolar culture. The Aztecs believed that the negative events such as rencores or resentments were necessary for personal growth and development. Without experiencing these setbacks, a person would never fully understand the importance of perseverance, resilience, and empathy for others. This belief system continued to manifest itself throughout Mexican culture for centuries, even after the Spanish conquest of Mexico. During the colonial era, Mexicans were subjected to brutal treatment from the Spaniards through the encomienda system that lasted more than American transatlantic U.S. slavery, close to over 400 years, included forced labor and cultural suppression. As a result, Mexicans developed a deep sense of rancor towards their colonial oppressors. This grievance was further compounded by the Mexican-American War, during which Mexico experienced a land grab of over half its territory to the United States. Despite these hardships, Mexicans endured and resisted. Their rancor and grievances fueled a sense of national identity and unity, leading to the Mexican Revolution in 1910. The revolution was a turning point in Mexican history as it allowed for the country's independence and the ability to shape its own destiny. Today, the saying, "You can't be a Mexican until you have a rancor," or resentment, continues to hold deep significance in Mexican culture. Mexicans have endured numerous struggles throughout their history. They've always maintained a sense of resilience and pride in their culture and identity. In this manner, Lalo learned to play the guitar and started writing songs that reflected the stories and the experience of Mexican Americans, the rencores, resentments. One of his biggest resentments was the lack of representation for Chicanos in mainstream media, particularly on TV. This was a source of frustration for Lalo, who believed that Mexican American stories deserved to be told with the same level of respect and attention as any other culture. Lalo was also a strong advocate for social justice, using his platform to speak out against discrimination and inequality. He believed that music had the power to unite people from all walks of life and to create positive change in the world. Guerrero's music was more than just entertainment. It was a way for him to connect with his community and share his experience with the world. His songs were a source of pride and inspiration for Mexican Americans, and they helped preserve and celebrate their culture. In this spirit, we can speculate that Lalo would tell a story like this in 1985 while teaching youth how to play acoustic guitar at the Eagle Rock Recreation Center in Los Angeles. The Eagle Rock Recreation Center, located at 1640 Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock, California neighborhood gathering spot with sport leagues and a gymnasium, plus a playground and barbecue grills. You know, Chicanos like carne asadas, and we like piñata parties. And I'm going to stop here, and we'll continue serializing this, Richie.
Sounds good.
I'm going to switch over to La Música. we'll close it out. That was to give my voice a rest after that jamboree, and then we'll close out with a kids special. Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. Gonna stand my ground. Won't let me turn around, and I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. I will stand my ground, and I won't back down. Well, I know that's right. I got just one life. I'm a world that keeps on pushing me around, but I'll stand my ground, and I won't back down. Yeah, baby, there ain't no easy way out. I will stand my ground, and I won't back down.
Right on, man. I won't back down. That is my theme song. Every time someone hands me a shot. But of course, we got down Tom Petty style to end your set today. How can the fine people watching on YouTube follow and support you online?
All right. So folks can catch me on Instagram under Gosh It's 2019. Pick up a copy of my book, I Am Not Your Chihuahua, on Amazon. The second piece, the first musical piece, is obviously Fernando Sor, Etude numero 35, movement number 1. So if folks are interested in that.
Alrighty then, awesome, man. Thank you. And also, I think we figured it out, so I'm not like heavily echoed, right? We got the mute unmute thing going down. I like it. It's a little well done. Tez, everyone, show some love, make some noise on your screens. You can move around. You can do it kinetically. You can also use the emojis that we have on our Zoom chat. Sandy was digging it. Yeah, she was digging Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. They're on YouTube. Very good stuff. All right. And that's the open mic. Good night, guys. Later. Just kidding. We have one more. I was just waiting to see if he would angrily jump on. As we often do at the end of the show, we have a unique segment. It's part blog, part performance, part updates of things going on. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage the one, the only, Dan the Man. Dan, what is up? Can you hear me? Dan.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yo, what's up?
Good. Okay. All right. As we always know, yeah, since this April, it is always hold on one sec.
For the uninitiated, this is just a dramatic pause while he looks for photos she could have had ready.
Come on, he's only had 2.5 hours.
Hang on. Yes, we always know it's National Poetry Month. And speaking of poetry, what is poetry? We slam, we rhyme, we write, we read, we word, we match, we see, we note. And which genre of life, love, hate, mean, rant, good, bad, music, people, place, things, pets, land, sky, water, sports, politics, hell, you name it. That's how we notarize word stanza notary, poetry, poetize openly, and solely history. Yep. What is poetry? And yeah. And poetries I performed in 2 cities, my hometown in the Lone Star State, and another town in the land of enchantment, mostly my hometown. Sometimes another town, 2 towns, comparison, the borderland, located at the Rio Grande. Contrast, different states. We still communicate. We can abbreviate. I can perform here or another stage. Besides poetry, I can see music. I see cool performance. I wish I can perform music, only songs and dance but I could write music. I could see movies, or I could watch movies. I would most likely to act in movies, but still, for both cities, support local music, support local films, and support writing, local writings, and local poetries. And according to Charles Dickens, like, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. That's according to the Tale of Two Cities. Comparison, share a region and culture, no wars. Contrast, still in two states, Texas, New Mexico. Yeah. So that is the poetries I performed in two cities. Yeah, so that's why it always April, always Nat Poetry Month. Yeah, so you still know what I mean, everybody? No, yes, no, maybe so. Thank you, Mr. Slur. Great. Okay. And here we go once again. Words of Love, Priopos by Romantic Saints from Mexico. Okay. There we go. El amor para ser perfecto merece ser discreto. A perfect love is a discreet love. Okay. Dos besos llevo en el alma y no se apartan de mí. El último de mi madre, el primero que de ti. I carry in my soul tears that I will never lose. The last one from my mother, and the first one I gave you. El hombre desde a nacer a no, ya no es yo el corazón, ser yo entrega a la mujer en prueba de su pasión. From the time he's born, a man's heart really isn't his own. He hands it over to the woman he loves as proof of his passion. Oh, we gotta listen to this. Con amor y aguardiente, nada se siente. With love and liquor, all else is forgotten. Ay, amor, como me has ponido acá, nañado y descolorido. Oh, love, what have you done to me? I'm skinny, I'm stringy, and pale as be. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. All right. A la mujer y a ladrón quitarles la ocasión. Don't have a woman or a thief. Yeah. Here again. Words of Love, Riopos, Romanticians from Mexico. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, just like I say, what is poetry? That's all I do. So, and still, all right. So we still got two more. We still have. Wait. Hang on. So we got only one more Monday for National Poetry Month. Here goes nothing.
Do more.
I'm sorry?
Am I wrong on that? You're right. One. You're right.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom,
All right,
boom,
guys, here it
boom.
is. Read it and weep it. Yeah, I'm still behind on posts on Twitter and Facebook. I'm trying to catch up on Instagram. Most importantly, find Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube. Just subscribe to my channel. Don't forget the hashtag Dan the Man's Weekly. Yeah, I'm still behind schedule. Okay. All right, guys. Hey Richie, I hope to see you tomorrow in a bar. I'll keep you posted. And for the rest, I'll see you guys next Monday. And okay. Oh, I heard about Wednesday at the what is it called?
It's okay, Dan.
That
If you're there,
part
you're there.
on
It's all
the
good.
Central.
Sure.
Okay. All right, guys. I'll see you guys Monday. All right.
Yes,
Okay, Richie,
look
let's
forward
go
to
ahead
it.
and call it a night.
Cool, man. Thank
All
you,
right.
Dan. Really quick. Sorry, I was responding to something there. So yes, we do have, as I've mentioned several times, we do have open mics here in El Paso. Tomorrow we're going to be at Mono Bar Modern Art. It is a late open mic. We don't start till 9 p.m. Go to about midnight. It is open to everything, which can be kind of chaotic and tough to run. But you know what? We're there. We're toughing it out. Wednesday, we have a special guest, Jose Olivares. He's going to be visiting El Paso Community College. We're going to have a special open mic for students, for EPCC students. So we do encourage people to come out and just really enjoy, participate, and support the event. I think he will be signing copies of his book, Promises of Gold. I should have had copies or some poems to read. But if you go back to some of our past episodes, I've read a couple of his poems as covers. I think even the last one I did. So you can check those out. My name is Rich, your MC. We will be back next Monday. I always want to give a shout out to everyone who did tune in on the live stream. I want to give a shout out to everyone who performed. And we will see you guys next week. We're back every week. So if you want to be kept up to date for the sign up link, follow us at the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series for the live stream. We will see you guys next time.